Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be covering my new Camponotus Ligniperda. As you probably would have seen on the thumbnail and title already, this is Europe's largest ant species. So, along with the largest size, this means that they have one of the longest brood developments in all of Europe. Here, you can see under the queen, or to the side of it, is a newly enclosed worker and their cocoon. Along with the cocoon, there's also some eggs and some larvae. And just to emphasize their size, this is a mesobarbarous worker next to their test tube. Queens of this colony can range anywhere from 14 to 16 millimeters, and workers anywhere from 6 millimeters to 14 millimeters. Colonies of this species can only have one queen, so that means they're monogene. Although, if you've been keeping up with Ant Hollifer, you would have seen that he recently did a Camponotus Ligniperda experiment, where he used two queens, but made it to where they could never meet, so they wouldn't kill each other. I got this queen from a recent Ants on a Rock event, but now that I think about it, it was actually quite a while ago. And whilst I was there, I also got the Yunnan flower mantis. Check that video out from the top right. But don't leave yet, as there's still much more to do for this colony. And I'll start off by feeding them. I gave them a fruit fly, but they didn't seem too interested, and were more keen on trying to escape. Unfortunately, one of the workers has died, but I think that's because it was one of the few nanitics that she had at the start, and over time they've just died off. But all is well, as I keep getting more and more workers. I think these workers need a bit of sugar, so I got some Antantic sugar snap and put it on some tin foil. Immediately, a worker went straight to it, drinking up all the sugar. In the ensuing time lapse, this was about 3 minutes, and you can see the gangster expanding as it drinks all the liquid. After this worker fills up with all the sugar, it will go back to the colony and complete trophallaxis with other workers. This is basically just where two ants feed each other. But don't worry, because you'll get to see that in action later. And just like that, the sugar's gone. Since they're such a big species, this will mean that I'm gonna have to feed them loads. So it's gonna get quite expensive feeding them with these sugar snaps. You can see that both ants now have sugar in their gases, which means they probably just completed trophallaxis. Here, you can even see a newly enclosed worker is actually riding the queen's back. And this is a trophallaxis. It looks kinda silly, and well, that's because it is. The basic way in which it works is ants have two stomachs. They have their own, and then they have a social stomach, which is what they use for trophallaxis. Here you can see some new eggs that have just hatched into larvae. I mean, like, probably within the last hour or so. And here's them eating a cricket egg, because why not? And you know, the Camponotus Ligniperda have to get a cameo. I can tell you this right now, you do not want this biting you, as that looks like it would hurt. So maybe I missed a few transitions into connecting them into their new nested outward, but they're here now and this is them exploring it. And yes, this is the very same connector that I used for my Camponotus mecans. And yes, this is the very same outward that the Camponotus Ligniperda originally had. But that's only because I'm waiting on the new outward to arrive. And no matter how much I give them it, they just will always love sugar. Like, they will go relentlessly for sugar. It's crazy. They have some nice brood and some pretty good cocoons, so they should be getting quite a lot more workers pretty soon. So within the first few days, mostly what they did is they just went in and out of the nest, sometimes putting cocoons in there, sometimes putting larvae in there, but they hadn't really moved the queen in yet. But more on that later. Here is the unboxing. So I got about 250 grams of seeds for my harvest rounds, which will be in upcoming shorts. 2 different sizes of tubes at I think 50 centimeters. Some water towers because I'm in need of them. Some Mukushi ant nectar to go along with the water towers. And of course the outworld. For the next minute and a half it will just be in depth looking at all the different stuff, so skip ahead if you don't want to see that. As you can see, we start off with the water towers. So I bought 2 large water towers from Mukushi. And there's no point in water towers without the sugar. And onto the tubing. I think these were 15 and 13mm diameter holes, so I can be using them in my new builds. And now onto the seeds. I noticed recently that my Mesobarbarus colony was running a bit dry on seeds, so I decided to stock up. This should last them easily a year, maybe even 2. And now on to a quick time lapse of me constructing the outworld. And now that it's all done, it's time to install it into the setup. But before that, I just want to spin it around a little bit, just so you can have a nice look. Unfortunately, this is one of the last times this outworld will ever be cleaned. But I do have to say, Mukushi, this is the perfect size no matter what species you have. And yes, now it's finally time to fill up the liquid feeder with the one and only famous Mukushi ant nectar. I'm only going to fill the feeder about 1/4 to 1/3 of the way because I don't want them wasting any sugars. Now it's time to put on the cap. I gotta say, that was not one of my best transitions. But now it's time to put the liquid feeder into the outworld, and this is the size tubing that I'll be using for the outworld. Here you can see the new outworld's connected and the old outworld's just in the background. And it only took them about half an hour to actually find their liquid feeder, and they seemed pretty keen on having it for their own. They even started to move some brood in, which is a great sign. But even if they do move out of the test tube completely, I'm still going to leave it there as a permanent water source. And I really don't know how to emphasize this enough, but this queen is massive. And just a sneak peek at the Camponotus Ligniperda. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and thanks for watching.